afternoon. Welcome to Nurses Week 2020, the special COVID-19 edition. I want to thank all the nurses. Hopefully there's folks watching the video or on the phone line listening to us. Thanks for being here and for being an awesome team for Nurses Week and all the time, not just for Nurses Week, of course. We have a very special presentation today from Master Chief Kuedituka. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He is the Command Master Chief Petty Officer over 2nd Dental Battalion right now. He joined the Navy in 1992, and he was a dental tech. That's an outdated, what do we call that? They're still with us, they're corpsmen now, but we had dental techs for many years in the Navy. He was a dental tech and has had multiple duty stations around the world, including Portsmouth, Virginia, including the Truman and the Arlington, was it? I'm not reading this very well. In any case, yeah, the USS Arlington, that's correct. My memory is correct. He was in Okinawa, Japan, and the School of Health Sciences, and then when I got here as the Senior Nurse Executive in 2017, Master Chief Kuedituka was my my Director Master Chief. And he and I were a great team. We enjoyed working together. We have similar, I want to say, we were both always pursuing new knowledge and how to be better leaders and how to help everyone be better leaders. And he always inspired me in his pursuit of knowledge and excellence. He's also a great and inspirational speaker. So I asked him to do a special presentation today. It won't be too long, but I'm going to turn the floor over to him and say thank you, Master Chief, for your many, many years of service. I am privileged to know you, honored to be your friend and your colleague. So here's Master Chief.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is actually something that we've been talking about for quite some time now with Captain Bass, and I just wanted to make sure that we do it, and we do it in a way that is safe. It just happened to be COVID came. So we're glad that we actually have a good audience, socially distanced. And then we also have some other people who are actually attending online, and also they're going to be viewing this. It is outstanding. So first, thank you, Captain, for actually allowing me to come over here today, because when Captain asked me, can you speak for the Nurse Week? I didn't even hesitate. I just say yes. I just say yes. As she talked about, most of my career, I've worked with nurses. Yes, I was a dental tech. I was also a surgical tech, so I worked with nurses. I had friends who are nurses. My sister's nurse. So it's like the nurses, they actually hold like a nice, good real estate in my heart. So just so you know, okay? And but when Captain asked me that, I was like, how do you talk to all these professionals about something that they always push on a daily basis? They always putting out effort. They're doing things that some people don't even want to do, and they keep on tracking on a daily basis. How do you talk to them about it? You know, or what do you say to them? So what I thought I was like, the first thing I have to say is thank you. Thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for leading the fight in this COVID pandemic. And not only that, thank you for staying true to your calling. It is important for this Navy right now. All right? And when we're talking about calling, sometimes you will sit down, sometimes you're like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I making a difference in this world? And believe me, I have those moments. You know, I have those moments. And when you have those moments, I'll let you know, be reassured that you are making those difference. And then me, myself, I always have those things sometimes. I sit down and I'm trying to find out, am I making a difference? But when you sit down and in those quiet moments, then the inspiration comes to you. And for me, it was a question of me trying to remind myself. So if you walk in my office, you go on the wall, you will see an inscription. I call it an inscription. I like an inscription, not just a writing. It's an inscription. It is in red. It's simple. It says, if you were convicted, or if somebody decided that they were going to accuse you of being a chief, will they find enough evidence to convict you? So with that question in mind, every day I have to ask myself, so these are the same question I'm going to ask you, and I would like you to think about that question as a nurse now. If someone accused you of being a damn good nurse, will they have enough evidence to convict you? That's the question you have to ask yourself daily. And every day, as I said, it's an inscription in my office, and I see it daily. It's written in red, so you can't miss it. And then you start thinking about, can they? Or if you start having doubt, then something is going on. But I know you nurses, you will not have any problem answering that question, right? Because that's what you do on a daily basis. And because that's what you do on a daily basis, what I would like you to think about now is, how do I sustain this performance? How do I stay high up here in the level of performance without me going down on a daily basis and then going back up? Because that yo-yo sometimes will take a toll on you. So what we need to start looking at the ways of actually trying to remedy all this up and down. Because that question is still going to be resonating in your head. Am I good? Am I going to be convicted for being a nurse? So with that in mind, I would like to start thinking about something, which I also have it on my board, but it's a little bit on the top. And that is, you as a person, you as a nurse, you as a Navy officer or naval officer, you start thinking, every day I have to make a point. Every day I have to make a point. Now you're asking me, like, what is the point? How do I make a point? You know? And that point is just simple. Simple. The simplicity of it is that the P is actually linked to performance. P stands for perform. And that performance, when you start looking at it, and before I even go to the performance itself, let me try to explain something. Nurses on the daily basis, every time you hear that equipment start ringing or the alarm goes off, guess what you do? You run towards it and you're trying to find out what changed, what moved, or anything wrong with this. All of these questions is actually you seeking to find what is known as a problem. And that problem is, if you go in Greek and Latin and all these languages, a problem is something that's actually thrown in front of you, right? And that problem, when you start looking at a problem that's thrown in front of you, and when the organizational developer, they start talking about problems, they say, it is not just a problem, something that's thrown in front of you. It is a gap between what is supposed to be and what it is. And what is supposed to be is not hearing the alarm. So when the alarm goes off, you're trying to find out what's the difference. And because you are that person who is engaged, you will start thinking, okay, how can I fix this? Why? Because you made it your agenda. Until you made it your agenda, you will not do anything with it. And when I'm talking about the P, now look at it like that. The P is performance, but performance is an equation which actually include what? Include the assessment of the problem, which you do on a daily basis. And then when you look at the assessment of that problem, you have to use your skills, which you have acquired already, with your experience and your ability. What you do, you include that motivation that actually makes it your agenda to correct that problem, which makes it your performance. And on a daily basis, just imagine now, on a daily basis, you making a series of performance and performance and performance on a daily basis. And there's a lot of them that you do because you care. And so that, and then when we start looking now, okay, after we finish looking at performance, what do we look at now? Is the O. And O stands for operate. Now, for you to be able to operate in a specific environment, like in this organization that you are in, you have to start thinking, what do I need, or what do I need to know? And in your case, in my case, in all our cases, because we work with Navy medicine, we start looking, what is our mission? What is the vision? And then what is the priority of this organization? And for those of you who actually know, the priority of the organization that we actually have right now is summarized in 4 P's, right? 4 P's. The Surgeon General put it out. 4 P's. People, platform, performance, here performance again, and power. The 4 P's. And so when you start looking at all these things, you're like, man, I have to perform, and then I have to operate in this organization. Because if you do not know, and if you do not understand the mission of what we're doing, or you do not understand the priority of which you're supposed to be operating under, you will fail. Now let's look at the eye. And if you see the point, the eye sits right there in the middle. It's like a focal point, you know? It balances everything. So anything can actually rotate under that axe or axis. The eye. Now you're like, why is that's so important? Because that eye is where we come with the identification. You have to identify yourself. And as a nurse, you identify yourself with that lineage of the sacred 20. That lineage that actually started a long time ago, and you actually fall in line. It's almost like you have a big old river, and then that river been flowing for quite some time. And then you're like, I'm water too. You jump in, and then you flow. Right? And you take on the property of that river because you become part of it. So you have to be able to identify yourself to that organization or to the group that you are in for you to be able to perform. And when you start doing that, it is very, very important for you to identify yourself, because if you do not identify yourself to that legacy of nurse or naval officer, then you start having problems. Now let me see if I can actually move up a little bit and then leave this identification. Then we're going to stay here for quite some time. But the second part is that we have to start thinking now, what is required of me? What is that ability, all that skills that I am to have to be able to associate me with this group of professionals? with that, we're going to see if we can move to the end, which is to navigate. Now, most of you know, for anybody to navigate, they have to need some kind of a guidance, some kind of compass. And the Navy has one. And that compass, we usually call it the Navy core value. The Navy core value of honor, courage, and commitment. No, I'm not going to spend time talking about all this. And you should know. The Navy core value, honor, courage, commitment. And when you start talking about honor, courage, commitment, it puts you in a way where you can actually say, okay, here's my honor, courage, commitment. Here's my personal value. I will take my personal value and line it up with this honor, courage, commitment, so I can actually be able to find where this ship is going. Because if you're not, honor, courage, commitment is here, your personal is here, you will be having two directions. You'll be pulled in a different direction. And so that's why it is important for us to actually understand that. Not only that we have to understand that compass that will take us where we need to be, but we also have to be able to read the roadmaps. The roadmaps. And yes, those roadmaps, we have leaders that are being placed upon us to be able to guide us, to lead us. And those leaders, they do have guidance. They do have requirements that we have to meet. And those guidance and requirement and all these things that they put in front of us, it helps us to actually find those roadmaps. So we know, here, this is where I'm going to turn left. This is where I'm going to turn right. This is how I'm going to go. So when they tell me to turn left and I go right, I get lost. And you won't be able to navigate in this organization, which is the Navy. So as you navigate through, as you went through all these things, you see on your performance, you're gathering all this knowledge. And also as you go to your vision and mission of the command or the organization, you understand that, hey, that's how I am going to be operating. And then you identify yourself. And when you finish identifying yourself, and then you use that navigation, because for a second I thought N stand for nurses, but it wasn't. You know, you identify yourself, and then you go to that navigation, and the last thing left now, like, you got all this knowledge. What you gonna do with it? You have to train. No, you're not just gonna train you. You're gonna train everybody else. Because remember now, we go back to that legacy. That legacy is only strong. That trustworthiness is only strong. That caring is only strong because you were trained by those before you. And so you have to take the time to train those who are coming. Any little idiosyncrasy, all those tacit knowledge that you have gathered, you have to be able to impart it to those who are to come, so that they can be able to succeed. Because Dalai Lama says, for you to actually be immortal, you have to be able to share your knowledge. Share your knowledge, because it is a way to immortality. No, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to share my knowledge every day so I can stay alive. Oh, nah, it's not going to work like that. We're talking about the legacy of the nurses. Okay, share that knowledge so that legacy can continue. All right? So as we actually get to that legacy and we get to that knowledge and we finish with all these things that we talked about, the training and everything, I would want you to start thinking now. Right? You made the points. Now you have to start thinking. Do I do I have everything, all the evidence that can actually get me convicted today, tomorrow, and the day after that for being a damn good nurse? It is important. It is important for you to actually grasp that concept. And it is important for you to daily be able to make a point so that when those time comes, when you sit down and you start getting all, am I, do I, you will know that you're tracking on the right direction. Okay? And so in closing, I will say, examine yourself. Examine yourself, then say, yes, there's enough evidence for anyone to come and be able to convict me for being a damn good nurse. There's evidence. They can find it because every day I'm making that point. Every day I'm ensuring that I perform to the highest level. And every day I'm making sure that all my people are trained and elevated to where they need to be. Because as you train, you elevate them to where they have to be. And with that, I think I'm going to be closing. But before I close, I'm going to leave you, just in case you forget everything that I said today, right? If you forget everything, I'm going to leave you with two things. The first one is that, don't forget this one. The first thing is that you are awesome. You're just simply awesome. You are awesome for the caring. You are awesome for your competence. You are awesome for the relevance. You are awesome for that legacy that you've been following. You are awesome because everything that you've been bringing forth into this profession, the value that you're bringing in, that's what makes you awesome. No, you're not awesome because I told you you're awesome. Because if you just wait for me to tell you you're awesome, then we lost somewhere. But your awesomeness does not come from the fact that I told you you're awesome. Your awesomeness should be something that's coming from your heart, knowing that you are awesome, and because you are awesome, you will perform continuously in an awesome way. And the second thing is, you have to allow yourself to succeed. Because as you succeed as a nurse, as you succeed as a naval leader, as you succeed as a person, you giving those people around you the permission to do the same. Think about that. As they see you succeed, they know they too can do it. And that nursing profession will continue because you are in it. Thank you very much. Captain, again, thank you for bringing me in. It was awesome. I just wanted to come and talk to everybody. And I'm sure for those of you who are not here, keep tracking and keep pushing forward because this too, we shall win this battle. Thank you.
Yeah.